The machine started with my lock still on it. I'd been inside the machine all day. It started the moment I told somebody I was done. And the only reason I'm here telling you about it is that I was standing outside of it when I said so. And let me take you through the whole day, because the day is a story. Every hour of it I thought I was safe, and every hour of it I was wrong. This was the early days at this particular plant, and I want you to remember that detail, early days, because it's doing more work than anything else. I didn't know the place yet. I didn't know the lockout system. These big plants, the isolation points aren't sitting next to the machine with a sign on them. They're scattered throughout the electrical rooms. And in this plant there was 4 MCC rooms. I didn't even know which room the machine was in, let alone which lockouts to do. I mean, I knew in my old plant. I didn't know in this one because I was a new guy. And every map of it in my head was completely blank. So the job needed me to climb inside a machine, right inside it, my body in the works all day, and it was a machine with a lot of lockout points. So the lockout got done the way all lockouts get done. A full walkout of the isolation points, the box loaded up with locks, and when that was finished, I hung my own lock on the lockout box. My lock, my key, my life, and that's the system. The box stays locked out, my lock's on it, the machine is dead, and I climbed in. I spent the whole day inside that machine. Hours, 11 hours, head down, hands on it, doing the work comfortable. You know, when you believe the iron around you is dead and you're just a structure, it's just a room, you're leaning on things, you put your back against things, and you stop thinking about it entirely, the way you don't think about the ceiling of your house. At the end of the day, I crawled out, and the shift supervisor's there, happened to be there right when I crawled out. He asked me if I'm done, and I say, yeah, I'm done. And he reaches over and he releases the e-stop. And the machine starts instantly. No wind up, no warning chirp, no grace, just starts running. My lock's still hanging on it. What the fuck? My locks are still on it. They shouldn't be working. This is the whole of my thinking in this first second. Just the work, those words on a loop. While the thing I'd been sitting inside 60 seconds earlier ran like nothing was wrong. Because for the machine, nothing was wrong. I was doing exactly what it was built to do. So here's what actually happened, and it's worse than a malfunction. I hadn't walked those isolation points myself. I couldn't have. I didn't know where they lived. I asked if the electricians on shift could do it, because they knew the plant, and I didn't. And they'd locked out the wrong points. All that hardware hanging on a box, mine included, was locking doors on the wrong building. Nothing was isolated. Nothing had been isolated all day. The only thing that kept that machine still, for all those hours, the only thing between me and it was the e-stop somebody had pushed in. And an e-stop is just a stop. That's the piece people never seem to quite get. These plants run on automated machines. They start themselves, they run themselves, they answer to a control system, and an e-stop doesn't isolate it. Usually. Some do, but most don't. And it just holds the machine the way a pause button does. So you hold your button on a doorbell, it's the same thing. Anyway, it's just a mushroom button. You push it in, everything stops, you pull it back out, and you haven't restarted the machine so much as let it go. It goes back to auto and does whatever it wants, which at the moment that supervisor released it was run. So here's the arithmetic of my day. Every hour I spent inside the machine, one pushed in button was the entire difference. Anybody who bumped it, reset it, cleaned around it, anybody in a control room who cleared it remotely, that's the machine starting with me inside it all day. That's pretty thin. Now it'd be easy and comfortable to blame this story on the electricians. I'm sure they got it wrong, but here's the thing, they were good guys. Nobody was careless in the way you picture careless. They went, they locked it out, they believed they'd done it right. The supervisor asked before he touched anything. Everybody in that chain did what decent, competent people do, and it still lined up into a loaded gun. Because if I'm honest, and this story's worthless if I'm not, the biggest failure was mine. I never bump tested it. That's it, the whole confession. Before I put my body inside that machine, I never tried to start it. I never walked that e-stop from clear ground and pulled it out myself to see what happened. That's the test, that's all it is. You take the exact action that would make the thing run, the pull, the reset, the start command, and you watch from outside the line of fire what the machine does with it. If it stays dead, your lockout's holding. You just hand it its best chance to run, and it couldn't. Then you get the control room to lean on it too. Have them try and get it rolling. from their end. And if they can't make it go either, you now know, not believe you know. And if it starts when you pull that button or when the control pushes on it, then thank Christ you found out standing where you're standing, because the lockout was a rumor. 30 seconds, maybe a minute with a phone call, a stupid easy little thing, and I skipped it because the box was full of locks and one of them was mine. And a full locked box feels like a fact. It isn't. It's a claim. Everything about that day was a claim. The electricians claimed the points were right. The box claimed the machine was dead. My lock claimed my life was in my own hands, and it wasn't. And I climbed in on the strength of those claims. And when that machine itself would have told me the truth in half a minute if I'd tried it. You pull the button, watch what happens, and that's asking it. The supervisor pulled it instead 60 seconds after I climbed out. I think about the version of that day where he doesn't ask, or where I say yes from inside, calling it up through the works, or where anybody in all those hours resets a button that from every outward sign is just a button somebody forgot. None of those versions have me in the thing telling you this. So hanging your lockout on the box is right. Trusting the guy who locked it out, that part's human, and mostly the guys are worth trusting. But between all of these and climbing in, there's one question that only the machine can answer, and it answers it every time, honestly, for free. I ask it now, every time, everywhere, no matter whose locks are on the box or how much I trust them. I go find the thing that starts it, and from clear ground I try it. The machine doesn't care whose locks are on the box. It only knows whether it's isolated. So before you climb in, ask the machine.